Okay, hello folks. In this session, what we are going to talk about is how you can manage CounterSnipe APD sensors remotely. So the scenarios that you're looking at is um, firstly manage them remotely, and secondly if they are not directly accessible via your management network. So we got to set up a VPN. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about setting up OpenVPN. Now that's a separate session, if you like, but you can actually do that by reading this document. So that's the important document here. If you visit that link, you will have to sign up on the website to actually get access to that. So if you visit that link, you will see how to set up VPN between accounts like TMC and APD. So once you actually read that document, what you will be able to do is you will be able to create something like this. Now here, the console. This console is actually running somewhere off-site in a private cloud. Okay, it's running on a 64-bit machine, so I can show you that very quickly here. So if I go down uh, emergency operations, shell name, uname -a, and then you will see that it's running a x86-64 um, system on the internet. So we're running a management console on that, the TMC, okay, that's installed in that. That machine is on VPN, so if I do ifconfig, then you'll be able to see here, we've got ton0 configured on this. Now, as I mentioned before, to set up that, you've got to read this document. This document tells you how to set up a VPN server, and then the APDs that could be anywhere scattered around the world that where you install the VPN clients. Okay, so now here we have the VPN running. This is actually the VPN server 10901. I go back to the main window again. Okay, so what we do is we install Ubuntu 64-bit as it goes on this in this case. Then we set up VPN first. So we get that part working. VPN server and Ubuntu. And then on the other side, I have locally here, I have VirtualBox. I love VirtualBox because I can do so many uh, different things with it in terms of setting up demo machines and clients and TMCs and evaluations and so on. So here we have VirtualBox running. Under VirtualBox, I have a test machine, which is the APD. So this doesn't have a local management console. That's the APD, and here it is here. Okay, so test 900 is running on my Windows desktop, and the TMC is running remotely on a private cloud. So I have a management console, TMC, and an APD. Now APD, if you look at it physically, they are on a different network. So if I go to emergency operations here, shell launch, and if I do let this window away. If I do ifconfig e0, okay, this is on 192.168.0.99, okay, my local network. If I do the same on here, I will see emergency shell ifconfig config e0, then that's on a different network, entirely different network. So we have a APD setup. Will take me back, but if we need to, we will do that. APD setup takes us back here. So they're running on two different machines. If you look at on the server, again, we said we've got a VPN running on that VPN server. On here, I set up a VPN client. Reading that document tells you how to set up OpenVPN for use with CounterSnipe, okay, strictly for CounterSnipe use. Okay. There are other tricks that you could do and set up all sorts of different tunnels with OpenVPN, and then you can take it to the server and pass it through to the outside world. But we don't cover that in the document. It strictly covers what's required for us here. Okay. So here, if I do the same thing on the APD, we've got its tunnel 0 setup, and it's got 45. Now, the first thing what you got to do is once you actually got this set up, you install the TMC on the console here. Okay. By using the CounterSnipe installation, look at some other videos. They will show you how to install TMC. And on here, you install AP. Okay, you finish all of the steps of the TMC and install it. Once you installed APD on the remote sensor here, which is running locally on my desktop, the first thing that I do on here is I create. Now I have to do this manually. I create a networking file. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, etc network / interface. If we weren't going to run it over VPN, then we would be happy with the console creating an interfaces file. So here, have a look at this file. Okay, it says auto-generated, but we're going to stop the auto-generation as well in a minute. Now this is specifically for IDS, okay, IDS usage. So in here, you have these various entries. Important thing is your ETH0 would already be there because you would build a static IP address here. When you configure APD, you assign it an IP address, so that would be there. Your VPN address for 0 will already be there. Now the things you're setting up here is the bridge, the VR0. Okay, they are always going to be same. So just copy and paste these entries in there. Okay. The other thing is Ether1 and Ether2. Okay, and bond 0. Bond 0 is going to look the same. So again, you can copy and paste bond 0 exactly as you see it on this screen. Okay. Going further, if you look at Ether 1, 2, 3, and 4, depending on how many network cards you've got in your machine, up to 5 you can have. So you can configure those. Okay. So if you look at those settings, they're all same settings all the way through. So if you've done one, you're doing the others. So add those entries to this, to the network interfaces file. Okay. Once you added those, I'm gonna get out of this. Once you add those entries, you need to do this. You need to edit networking script. The networking script is sitting in here, in this directory. Okay, it's sitting in user lib cs agent config. So you're gonna go in a networking script, and what you want to simply do is if you press I here, it gives you the insert mode, and then you add the hashes in front of it to actually hash out those lines. Okay. Now, by default, these lines look like this. Okay, and if they're starting from if. Okay, so by default, the lines look like this, and all of these things are in. So what you want to do is you're going to press I, and then hash this out, and then hash this out, and then there's many ways of doing the same thing, but I'm going to show you just this way. Hash out this entry, and then basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines in networking script. You hash those out. Hit escape and shift : WQ, and that saves it and quits that. Okay. Now you're ready. Now you have the APD configured here, where you actually got rid of the networking script, so that it's not writing over your networks file, the interfaces file. Okay. So now what you want to do is you want to go to, on the TMC, you do the standard stuff. You set up TMC, install it, configure it, and set it up. Okay. So then what you want to do is you want to go to the actual TMC, which is remote. If you look at it, 10.9.0.18443. You go to this link, 8443 link. Okay. You go to the sensors and then add a new sensor. But there's an important difference. When you add a new sensor, what you're doing is I'm going to go here. I'm going to pretend that I'm adding another one. Okay. So I say new sensor. So I will call it a new sensor. All right. Submit that. I will see that in the interfaces, right, you've only got 3 tabs anyway. As you know, when you add a new sensor, if you looked at the other videos, you will know that there are only three tabs at the top. So if I go to the sensors, I do view here. That's the console. It doesn't have all of the other options. But then I go back to sensors again, the working sensor. It looks like this. Okay, so what I want to do is go in the sensors. I want to pick my new sensor, go to interfaces. Now here, I want to add the tunnel interface, okay, not because this is the IP address that the management console is going to try to speak to. If we hadn't changed the networking script here, this is the IP address that it will write to ETH0. We don't want to write to ETH0. We just want to talk to that machine via this IP address. So what we want to do is we want to use the TUN IP address here. So if you go back here, config, okay, we have, here's the INET address, here's the IP address for TUN0 at the front, TUN0 10.9.0.45. So I will type here 10, I did that before, so let's just use that, 10.9.0 management subnet 255.355.2550, whatever the management subnet happens to be. And also, when you look at the TUN0, it tells you the gateway equivalent of the main gateway. So the main is what? Here the gateway is 44. Okay. So I'm going to type in 10.9.0.44. Okay. That is it. That's my done. So I submit that. Once I submit that, I will go to the summary and I will hit probe. Okay. That will go over the tunnel, over the VPN, talk to that sensor, and it will bring it up. And it will bring it up like this. I'm not going to actually probe it because I already did one. So if I go to sensors here, here's my sensor. So if I look at the interface here, 10.9.45, gateway 44, management networks that, and then my sensor will come up with all of these tabs at the top. Okay, if I have connection between those 2 points. And those points, now I would check those points. The best is check those points by pinging the VPN address from one to the other. So if I go to the console, maybe it would allow me to ping it. Let me see, 0.45. So let's see what happens. Okay, there you go. See, so when you set up your VPN, check the VPN connection is working. Install the TMC on here, and it would bring you to this menu, APD setup. Install the APD on here, they will bring you to this window. So far they're not talking to each other. Pick up the VPN address of one and make sure the VPN connection is working. Change the networking script on the APD so that it actually doesn't modify it as per this video. Go in here, type in the VPN address details, and up it comes. You have a remotely managed APD over VPN connection. Thank you.